Minutes.
So moved. Second.
Have a motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Minutes approved. Okay, Zach, you're up first today, buddy.
Is the air working today?
Yeah, good question.
No, we didn't pay our bill.
I hear you.
We didn't pay the
We
bill.
didn't pay the bill.
All right, so we have one public hearing for you guys tonight, which is a Riverfront Development District request. So this is River Hill LLC, and they're converting that existing motel that's down on the corner of Jack Warner. I'll show you.
Yeah.
That one right there, down on the corner of Jack Warner and Greensboro Avenue. So they're converting that existing motel into 21-bedroom condos that are going to be for sale, and then they're going to also upgrade the commercial space that fronts Jack Warner Parkway. So again, here's the location, the aerial. So there is two separate buildings, and we'll kind of split them up as Building A and Building B. And then the zoning, which is Riverfront Development District, which is kind of all around there in that green. So per the narrative that they had submitted, the price range is about $270 to $299. Yeah, that old apartment complex.
Yeah, Bobby Williams,
We got the whole thing for there.
Yeah, you're right. Come on to District 1.
Yeah. So just going through this real quick for you guys. They plan to sell all the residential units, keep the commercial units. They're going to have obviously a condo association in place with covenants and restrictions. The exterior materials are going to be painted brick, cementitious board wrapped columns, metal handrails, vinyl windows, and dimensional roof, shingle roof.
What is painted cementous?
So
Cementous?
cementitious is, yeah, that's like
Painted
hardy
cement.
board, hardy board similar. It's a little
painted.
heavier duty type of material than a vinyl or something like that.
I do too.
It mimics wood.
Cementous.
Talk to me a little word.
Yeah.
Excited.
City's gonna add a sidewalk on Jack Warner Parkway,
That's what I was gonna
which will remove the vehicular access that, previously it had been there for, I guess, whatever it was in the past, mechanical type use. And then garbage is gonna be handled at the dumpster on site. So here's the existing, this is off Greensboro. And then this is that commercial side, the commercial space off of Jack Warner. That's where the city is gonna help
Is that
develop.
the radiator shop used to be?
Is that where that was?
House is garage.
Paint
You
shop.
remember those?
Foster.
House.
Paint shop, used to be a paint shop. So here's the overall site, you can see.
I know Zach is welcome.
I know.
What about the in and out, Zach? The traffic in and out.
Yeah, so they're gonna keep the exact same entrance and exits that they have already for the two buildings.
Okay.
So this is building one, you can see that entrance and then the parking there. This is a two-story building.
Right.
And then these are the renderings kind of showing that building A, which is the one closest to Jack Warner. And then building B is going to be that on the right-hand side of this screen. And that's the one we're looking at right now. So again, they're going to keep that access off of Greensboro and then renovate the units. And then this is just kind of the renderings showing what that might look like.
What's the parking requirements, Zach?
No parking requirement
How
because
do you
they're just
not-
converting from residential to residential with some commercial on the bottom in the Riverfront Development District, and it's in the DROD.
So it's just what it was.
Exactly.
It was apartment.
And then this is both of the buildings together, kind of showing, there's your entrances and exits for the building. Unanimously recommended for approval. However, that recommendation came with the city staff, a condition that the city staff and the developer reach an agreement on the sidewalk, because there's some discussion that had to be done on, who's going to be paying for the sidewalk and all of that, which Mr. Gardner can kind of speak more to if you have any questions on that. And then that is the drawing for the sidewalk. So again, Jack Warner Parkway, the building just to the south and the hash marks, and then the sidewalk area right there. Any questions for me or Mike?
What's the timing on this development being done?
So we've got one of the representatives here, if you wanted to speak to
I mean,
that.
hopefully 12 months, delivery early 2025.
Okay. That'd be good for the district.
Yeah. This
You
is gonna
said-
be-
Did you say condos and hotels or?
Just condos,
Just condos,
yeah.
okay.
Mhm. and then that commercial component down on the bottom.
And Councilman Busby, we'll be at a 1-to-1 parking ratio. We're actually taking the units down to 1 bedroom. Their efficiencies right now, there's 40, we're gonna take them down to 20.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Zach.
I got one more for you guys. So this is an annexation for introduction. So, and then of course it can be adopted following unanimous consent after introduction. City schools, but it's a lot of lots going into city schools. So this is going to be an Emerald's Edge subdivision. This is phase 1 of that project out of 3 phases. So they're annexing approximately 229 acres, and again, this is north of River City. North River Yacht Club, up in that area, right on the lake there. That's the first phase of 107 lots that they're annexing into the city.
Could you back that
Yeah,
photo
sure.
up? So,
So Lewis Spur Road, if you're familiar with that, that's up in this area that they're going to be accessing off of. That's right. Yes, sir. Yeah, a little bit more south. So again, annexing into the city for a pretty large residential development. We didn't have any issues. ESD has stated that it's out of their service area. Unanimously recommended for approval by Planning Commission, and that is all I got. If y'all got questions.
What's the timeline of that?
I think they're going to try and move pretty quickly. The reason that they actually had to go back to Planning Commission because their annexation had lapsed because they had to do some work with some of the property owners out there just to kind of figure some things out. But now I think they're ready to pull the trigger. So.
for my education, how does this work when you're gonna develop that acreage into the same homes?
Yes, sir.
Is it like the yacht club where they put in a sewer system and then we accept it or buy it somewhere?
So
down the road?
they're not doing that for this one. They're going to be 2-acre lots. So I believe they're just going to use septic for this project. Mike, is that correct?
Yes, sir, that's right. It'll be our city's water system and our public roads built to our stand, but they're gonna use on-site sewage disposal systems.
So that means we have to run water lines out there?
Well, they will do it at their expense to our
We'll
standards,
accept
and then
it.
we accept them for maintenance after they're done.
Yeah, which we do for every project like that.
For context, Mr. Busby, I know it was kind of hard to see on that map. I was just looking over here just for my own, just to figure out where this is. This is actually probably closer to the 69 crossing of the lake than it is to the dam. It's
pretty far north.
That's a long way up there.
So you can see on that map, North River Yacht Club for context, Neptune's Cove, and then kind of increases. All right.
Dead center down a little.
Thank you, Zach.
Nice homes.
Antonius. There you are, buddy.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, Council and Mayor. We have 4 applicants tonight. The first one will be for Creole Connection LLC, DBA Creole Connection at 2322 4th Street. They're applying for a restaurant retail liquor license. This was approved in public safety to be presented to you guys for City Council.
This is the same group from last February.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. All right.
All right. My next applicant will be for the Alumni Club 421 Queen City LLC, DBA University Club of Alabama, at 421 again Queen City Avenue. They're applying for special retail more than 30 days. This applicant was presented during public safety last week and was recommended to be presented for City Council for this week. All right. And my third applicant was Downtown Entertainment LLC. They got 2 special retail less than 7 days events, one for the ATO graduation alumni event on May 4th and THS Class of 74 reunion on May 19th. The ATO graduation event is at 332 University Boulevard, and the other one, the THS Class of 74 reunion is going to be at 920 Bryant Drive in the zone. And then my last applicant will be for Party Down LLC, the Alpha Chi Omega Centennial Celebration. They're applying for a special retail less than 7 days at 801 Colonial Drive. And those are
Could
my.
you back that up one?
They don't drink.
Okay.
Back it up one, please, Anton.
Just the information on it? Is that
Yeah,
what you're looking for?
Party Down. The events at the sorority house,
Yes, sir.
So, black man.
they have, I didn't know that the sororities
Yeah.
allowed
Several of
alcohol
your-
service on the property.
Yeah, some of your several of your events at those locations are at the fraternity houses. They have UA requires them to have a responsible vendor to serve the alcohol for.
That's right.
Those are all my applicants I
That's
have.
it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Tony. Okay, paramedics.
I don't have anything, but we do have 2 issues for executive session.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Haley.
So last week, we came and talked about the vacancy on the Historic Preservation Commission. You guys asked for a week to think it over. Mayor Maddox's nomination was Dr. Yarbrough. He lives in Buena Vista, and that was the same place that Miss Wadston lived.
That's who I'm recommending, because, yeah.
Yeah, there's
Yes.
another one or two.
Is there going to be two?
Two
Yes.
more coming up.
Okay.
At
Is
the,
that good with everybody?
You good with that? You good.
yes. All right.
Thank you.
You are welcome.
Thank you, Mayor, on that too, because it's kind of keeping what we promised, that I'd always have one representative. All right, Mr. Holmes.
Good afternoon, council.
Promise kept.
I am at the about middle of page 2, and Mr. Busby, there is an item that you were going to brief on. Do you want to do that in advance, at the end, or in the middle when we get to it?
No, I can do it right now. I
That
assume
works
it's Tony Johnson.
Yes,
and,
sir. Yes, sir, and it is on page 32 of the larger agenda.
So I think Tony's term comes up in September, is it?
Yes, sir, I think that's
And
right.
some of the board members have talked with me, and for the planning and continuity's sake, they said, can y'all go ahead and renominate him? I think we got from your office, that was a little too early, but we did talk about that we would put up a resolution, I forget the exact wording, but essentially expressing our intention to do that when the time's right, so that they can move on with some projects they're working.
Yes, sir, that's accurate.
That's good.
Sounds good. He's
Good chairman.
he shot some hay over there.
Done a good job.
All right, about midway down page 2, I will pick up. On page 15, you'll be authorizing the purchase of equipment, supplies, and services. This is a total of $10,444.90. These are budgeted items that came to you from purchasing. On page 16, you'll be authorizing a professional services contract with Vision Security Technologies. This is a total not to exceed $33,091.92. It was discussed in projects on last week. On page 17, you'll be authorizing minor public works contract with Tusco Inc. This is a total of $12,732.21. This again was discussed in projects last week. On page 18, you'll be authorizing a minor public works contract with Straight Line Fence LLC. This is a total of $1,660 and came to you in projects last week. On page 19, you'll be authorizing a minor public works contract for as-needed security repairs and installation services with Jackson Security Systems. This is a total not to exceed $20,000 and was discussed with you on projects last week. On page 20, you'll be authorizing a professional study and consult services with TTL Inc. for Mercedes-Benz Amphitheater Phase 1 Improvements Project. This is a total not to exceed $44,280 and was discussed in projects last week. On page 21, you'll be authorizing a professional consulting and related services contract with C.H. Johnson Consulting for a feasibility study and business plan for the Mercedes-Benz Amphitheater 10-year plan. This is a total not to exceed $57,500 and was discussed in projects last week. On page 22, you will be authorizing a contract with Jim House and Associates, Inc. and declaring a bid law exemption pursuant to Alabama Code Section 41-16-51B7. This is a total of $37,595 and comes to you from our Water and Sewer Department. On page 23, you'll be
Why
expressing.
is it exempt, Mr. Holmes?
B7, I believe that has to do with clean water and critical infrastructure off the top of my head.
This way.
So clean water and critical infrastructure
Is
are exempt.
Bid law exempt, yes, sir.
Okay.
On page 23 is the item that Mr. Busby covered. On page 24 is approval of amended application for BH2M LLC. This is the dockside item that you heard last week in projects and will be doubled up tonight as well as on projects again today. On page 25 through 34, you have the annexation Mr. Pons briefed you on. On page 35, you'll be adopting amendment number 14 to FY 2024 general fund budget. This was briefed in finance last week. Are there any questions for me?
Any questions for Scott?
Thank you, Council.
Okay, thanks, sir. Okay. All right, we have projects, finance, insurance and litigation at 4. Then council meeting at 6. Anyone else have anything to bring for pre-council today? All righty, is there a motion that we go into executive session?
Second.
Motion second. Mr. Holmes?
Yes, sir. As your city attorney and attorney licensed to practice law in the state of Alabama, I can certify that this executive session is to discuss the consideration the governmental body is willing to offer or accept when considering the purchase, sale, exchange, lease, or market value of real property, as well as to discuss preliminary negotiations involving matters of trade or commerce in which the governmental body is in competition with private individuals or entities or other governmental bodies in Alabama or in other states or foreign nations, the discussions which would have a detrimental effect upon the competitive position of a party to those negotiations or upon the location, retention, expansion, upgrading, or of a public employee or business entity in the area served by the governmental body if disclosed outside of executive session.
Okay, we have a motion second for executive session. All in favor say aye.